What if everything you've been forcing in your life is actually holding you back? What if the very struggle, the constant pushing and pulling, is the reason you haven't been able to find peace or success? Take a moment to really think about that. Is there something in your life right now that you're trying to force? A job, a relationship, a dream that feels just out of reach no matter how hard you try? The truth is, the more you force, the more resistance you create. The harder you push, the more life seems to push back. And no matter how much effort you put in, it feels like you're stuck, caught in a loop of frustration and exhaustion. You don't need to fight to make life happen. You don't need to force your way into every opportunity or relationship that doesn't feel right. You've been told that success comes through constant striving, that you have to push yourself beyond your limits and never stop, never slow down. But this approach is leading you in the wrong direction. Life is not about fighting against the flow. It's about learning to navigate it. It's about understanding that sometimes the hardest thing to do is to stop trying so hard. Imagine for a second letting go of that burden. What would it feel like to release the grip you've had on your life? To stop forcing things into place and just trust that everything will unfold as it's meant to? What if you could relax and breathe, knowing that the right things will come to you without the constant strain of trying to make them fit? It sounds liberating, doesn't it? But here's the catch. You won't be able to experience this freedom until you start letting go. Letting go of the pressure to be perfect. Letting go of the idea that you have to control everything around you. Letting go of the fear that if you don't push harder, you'll fall behind. This isn't about giving up. It's about choosing peace over panic. It's about choosing trust over tension. When you stop forcing things, you open yourself up to the flow of life. And that flow is where your true potential lies. Imagine how much more energy you'd have if you stopped chasing everything that isn't meant for you. Imagine the clarity, the creativity, the inner peace that would come from just trusting the timing of your life. You're not meant to fight through every challenge. Sometimes the greatest strength you can show is the strength to step back, breathe, and trust that what's meant for you will find its way. And when it does, it will fit into your life perfectly. But that only happens when you stop forcing. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to push for it. You don't have to make things happen. Sometimes life has a way of surprising you when you least expect it. But you need to make space for that surprise. And that means releasing control, letting go of the need to force, to manipulate, to hurry. When you do this, you begin to move in harmony with the flow of your life. That's when the magic happens. So if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, if you're exhausted from pushing yourself too hard, remember this: you don't have to force anything. You are enough. Life is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust that the right things will come when the time is right. The struggle you're feeling isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you were trying to make something happen that isn't meant for you at this moment. Release the need to force and make space for what's truly meant for you. Stay with me, because the journey to true peace, clarity, and success begins with one simple shift: letting go. And once you understand that, your life will change in ways you can't even imagine yet. The moment you release the need to control every outcome, you begin to see the truth. Not everything is meant to be forced. Life has a way of presenting opportunities when you least expect them, and it's often in the spaces where you stop trying so hard that the most powerful moments unfold. The struggle you're facing right now, the stress, the pressure to make things happen, none of that is the key to your success. The key is trust. Trust that you are on the right path, even if it doesn't look the way you thought it would. Trust that there is a force greater than your will, guiding you, shaping you, and bringing the right things into your life at exactly the right time. You probably spent so much of your life pushing, striving, and bending over backward for things that never felt quite right. You've done everything you were supposed to do, checked all the boxes, and yet something still feels off. Maybe you're not getting the results you want. Maybe you've hit a wall, and no matter how hard you push, you can't break through. But this is where the shift happens. This is where you begin to understand that the act of forcing is what's keeping you stuck. It's not about working harder or trying more. It's about being willing to let go of what's not meant for you, so that what is meant for you can find its way in. Think about it for a moment. How much energy have you wasted on things that didn't bring you peace, didn't align with who you are, or didn't serve your highest purpose? How many times have you pushed yourself into situations that didn't feel right, thinking that if you just tried harder, you would get the result you wanted? And how many times have you found yourself feeling drained, empty, or frustrated because despite your best efforts, you still weren't getting where you wanted to go? It's exhausting, isn't it? Fighting against the flow, constantly pushing, only to feel like you're running in circles. This is the trap that so many of us fall into, believing that if we just work hard enough, push enough, and force our will on the world, everything will fall into place. But the truth is, life doesn't work that way. You can't force a flower to bloom before it's time. You can't rush the seasons. Just like nature, your life has its own rhythm, its own timing. And when you stop forcing, when you trust that things will unfold in their own time, you begin to align with the natural flow of life. This is the power of surrender, the ability to release the need for control and simply trust that you are exactly where you need to be. It's not about sitting back and doing nothing. It's about letting go of the pressure to control every outcome, every decision, and every step. It's about being present in this moment without worrying about what's coming next. And when you stop trying to force things, you open yourself up to possibilities that you couldn't have seen before. Opportunities that were always there waiting for you, but you couldn't recognize them because you were too busy forcing everything else. You are not meant to force your way through life. You are meant to flow with it, to listen to the quiet whispers of your heart, to trust the process, and to believe that what's meant for you will come. It's okay to step back. It's okay to pause and let things unfold naturally. In fact, it's necessary. The moment you stop fighting against life's current, you start moving with it. And that's when everything begins to fall into place. You're no longer exhausted by the struggle because you're no longer trying to control the outcome. You are simply trusting the journey. You have the power to transform your life in an instant, but that transformation requires a shift in mindset. You have to stop believing that you must control everything. You have to stop thinking that your value comes from how hard you push or how much you can achieve. Your worth isn't measured by your ability to force things into place. Your worth is in your ability to trust the process, to have faith in your journey, and to believe that life will provide everything you need at exactly the right time. When you embrace this truth, the weight you've been carrying for so long will finally begin to lift. And in that freedom, you will find your power. The moment you start trusting the flow of life, you begin to see how much space you've been holding for stress, for anxiety, and for unnecessary struggle. You've spent so much time and energy trying to control outcomes, trying to manipulate situations to fit your desires, that you've forgotten how much power there is in letting go. The pressure you've been putting on yourself to perform, to achieve, to succeed, none of it is helping you move forward. It's keeping you stuck in a cycle of burnout, frustration, and exhaustion. You don't need to keep fighting to make your life happen. Your life is already unfolding, and it always has been. The only thing standing in the way is your unwillingness to let go of control. Think about how many times you've set a goal, worked tirelessly toward it, and then ended up feeling defeated because things didn't unfold as you expected. The harder you pushed, the more resistance you met, and the further away it seemed. But here's the thing. Resistance doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're forcing. Life is not meant to be fought against. It's meant to be embraced. And when you embrace it without the need to control every moment, every outcome, you allow it to lead you to places you never thought possible. You've been told that success comes through constant effort, through working harder than anyone else, through staying up late and pushing your limits. But this mindset has made you forget the most powerful force you have, your ability to align with life rather than fight against it. You're not meant to keep hustling and grinding endlessly. You're meant to create, to grow, and to flow. The true magic of life happens when you allow yourself to be in the right place at the right time without the constant need to force it into existence. When you stop forcing, you make room for what's truly meant for you. You stop chasing after things that don't align with your soul, and you open your arms to what's coming naturally. This isn't about doing nothing. It's about knowing when to act and when to let things unfold. It's about trusting that everything that's meant for you will come into your life with ease. You don't have to chase it down. You don't have to fight for it. You simply have to let go of the need to control the process and let life lead you to where you need to be. This doesn't mean you stop setting goals or that you stop moving forward. It doesn't mean you quit striving for greatness. What it does mean is that you stop attaching your worth to the outcome. Your worth is not dependent on how much you achieve or how fast you get there. Your worth is inherent. It's in your being, not in your doing. And when you stop forcing, you start tapping into that worth. You realize that life is not something you have to struggle through. It's something you get to experience. And the more you let go, the more beautifully life unfolds. It's time to stop measuring your success by how much you can force into existence. Stop judging your progress by how many hurdles you've cleared or how much you struggle to reach the finish line. Life is not about racing. It's about living. It's about embracing each moment as it comes, trusting that it's leading you to something greater. When you stop forcing things, you make space for the unexpected, for the magic, and for the opportunities that have always been there waiting for you. But they can only show up when you stop fighting against them. The more you let go of the need to control, the more powerful you become. Your life becomes a reflection of the trust you place in it. And when you trust, you align. And when you align, everything falls into place. Stop forcing. Start trusting. Your life is already on its way to greatness. All you need to do is let go and let it unfold. There's a powerful truth waiting for you, one that can change everything. The less you force, the more you allow. The more you allow, the more life can surprise you. You've been holding so tightly to outcomes, so tightly to your vision of how things should be, that you overlooked one of the most beautiful aspects of life, the ability to be open to what's coming. What if everything you've been chasing, everything you've been trying to make happen, is not the answer? What if the answer lies in simply stepping back and allowing life to show you its own way? The things you're pushing for, the things you're constantly working at, may not even be the things you truly need. You've been conditioned to believe that if you work hard enough, you can force the perfect life into existence. You can't force happiness. You can't force peace. You can't force the relationships or the opportunities you think you want. What you can do is align with the flow of life, which will bring you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. Take a deep breath and let that settle in. Right now, you have the power to release yourself from the pressure you've been putting on yourself. The constant need to perform, to be enough, to do more than anyone else. None of that defines your worth. It never has. Your worth is not in your ability to force your way into success. It's in your ability to trust that everything you need will come when you let go of the need to control. You're not here to be perfect. You're not here to meet impossible standards. You're here to live, to experience life as it is, and to trust that everything you need will unfold naturally. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to manipulate your circumstances. You just have to trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the process. Trust in the timing of life. There's an incredible freedom that comes with this shift. When you let go of the need to force things, you finally free yourself from the constant worry, the stress, and the fear that you're not enough. You realize that the pressure you've been feeling is not a reflection of your potential. It's a reflection of your fear of letting go. Fear that if you don't control everything, you'll fail. But what if your greatest strength lies in the ability to release? What if your true power is in your ability to trust that everything is unfolding in its own time, in its own way? When you stop forcing, you open yourself up to true abundance. You allow the universe to work in ways you can't even begin to imagine. You stop limiting yourself by trying to control every single detail, and you open yourself to the endless possibilities that are waiting for you. The opportunities, the growth, the joy, all of it comes when you stop holding on so tightly. The tighter you hold, the more you restrict the flow of life. The moment you release, life can flow freely to you. You are not meant to struggle. You are not meant to fight every step of the way. Life is not meant to be a constant battle. The more you surrender to what is, the more peace you will find, not in the things you think you need to achieve, but in the simple act of letting go and trusting that you are exactly where you need to be. You've been working so hard to create the perfect life, but now it's time to let go of perfection. It's time to embrace the life that's already happening right here, right now. Trust that you are enough, just as you are. Trust that your life will unfold exactly as it should, at the perfect time. You don't need to force it. You don't need to hustle nonstop. All you need to do is trust the process, let go of the outcome, and allow your life to flow in its natural rhythm. And when you do, you'll realize that the life you've been searching for was never something to be forced. It was always something to be received. The truth is, the more you try to force your life into a specific mold, the more you deny yourself the freedom to truly live. You've been so focused on the outcome, on the end result, that you've forgotten to embrace the journey. You've been trapped in the belief that if you don't push hard enough, if you don't make things happen, you'll miss your chance. But the moment you stop forcing, you'll realize that the life you've been chasing isn't somewhere far off in the future. It's right here, right now. Every time you try to control every step, you miss the magic in between, the moments of joy, of growth, a pure, unspoken connection to the present. Life is happening in the spaces where you stop trying so hard, where you let go of your plans and trust that everything is falling into place just as it should. It's easy to get lost in the noise of the world, to think you need to be doing more, achieving more, proving more. But in that noise, you lose sight of the simple truth. Life is not a race. There is no finish line you must cross to be worthy. You don't have to hustle your way to happiness. Happiness is a state of being, not a destination. It's in the moments when you stop pushing and simply start being. When you give yourself permission to stop forcing, you free yourself from the pressure that's been weighing you down. You stop measuring your success by how much you've achieved and start measuring it by how much you've allowed yourself to experience. You start to realize that life is not something to be conquered. It's something to be embraced. Every experience, every step, every moment of stillness and movement is part of the journey, and it's all leading you exactly where you need to go. When you release the need to control, you begin to see that you don't have to fight for your place in the world. Your place is already carved out. All you need to do is trust that you belong just as you are. What if the pressure you've been feeling isn't a reflection of what you need to do, but a sign that you're forcing? What if your body, your mind, and your soul are telling you that it's time to stop the fight? The weight you've been carrying isn't the burden of failure, it's the weight of expectation. It's the belief that if you don't do enough, if you don't push hard enough, you'll be left behind. But what if, instead of running, you could just walk? What if, instead of striving, you could simply trust? The power of surrender is not about weakness, it's about strength and knowing that you don't need to force your way through life. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to push yourself to exhaustion to be worthy of your dreams. Your dreams are already waiting for you, and they don't require force, they require trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the journey. Trust that every step you take, whether big or small, is leading you exactly where you need to be. You are worthy of everything you desire, not because of how hard you push, but because you are worthy simply by being you. Let go of the belief that you need to earn your place in the world. Let go of the belief that you have to constantly prove your worth. You are enough exactly as you are. The moment you release that weight, you begin to rise. You begin to align with your true path, the one that was always meant for you. So stop fighting against life. Stop pushing so hard. You don't need to force your future into existence. Let it come to you. Trust the timing of your life. Trust that you are right where you need to be. And trust that the best is yet to come without having to force it. The more you let go, the more you allow. The more you allow, the more you will receive. The life you've been seeking has always been waiting for you, and it will find its way to you when you stop trying so hard to make it happen. You've spent so much of your life striving for something you thought you needed to earn. Success, happiness, love, and all this time, the key to all of it was within you. The truth is, you don't need to force anything to prove your worth. You are already worthy. You are worthy of peace, of success, of love, of every good thing that is meant for you. And when you let go of the need to force those things into your life, you make space for them to come to you naturally in the most beautiful, unexpected ways. It's easy to get caught up in the pressure of trying to make everything happen right now. But when you're in that state of constant doing, constant pushing, you're not giving yourself the chance to receive. You're not giving yourself the opportunity to let life bring you what it has in store. All that energy you've been expending on forcing, striving, and proving. What if you use that same energy to simply trust, to surrender to the flow of life and allow it to guide you where you need to go? You are not a machine. You're not meant to work endlessly, grind tirelessly, and exhaust yourself in pursuit of something that should come naturally. What you need to realize is that the life you've been forcing into place is not the life that was meant for you. The life that's meant for you is the one that flows effortlessly. The one that comes when you stop trying to force everything into existence. When you trust that you are enough, that everything will unfold when it's meant to, and that you don't need to struggle to prove your worth. In the moments when you stop trying so hard, You become open to the world in a way that wasn't possible before. You begin to notice the little things, the small moments of joy, the signs that you're on the right path, the ways the universe is quietly guiding you. Life is speaking to you all the time, but when you're too busy pushing and forcing, you drown it out. The messages, the opportunities, the signs of alignment, they're all around you, but they can't be seen when you're too focused on what you think you need to be doing. You've been working so hard to make everything fit, to make everything happen according to your plan. But life is not something to be bent to your will. It's something to be experienced, something to be trusted. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to have all the answers right now. What you need to do is let go of the expectation that you need to have everything under control. Let go of the pressure to always have it together. Let go of the fear that if you don't push harder, you'll lose your chance. The reality is, when you stop forcing, you stop resisting. And when you stop resisting, you begin to flow with life's rhythm. That's when you start moving forward, not by fighting, not by forcing, but by simply allowing yourself to be in the moment. That's when you begin to move towards your true path, the one that's been waiting for you all along, but you couldn't see because you were too busy trying to force everything else to fit. The more you embrace this, the more you realize that everything you've been striving for is already within you. You are whole. You are enough. You don't need to force anything to prove your value. You don't need to push yourself to exhaustion to make your dreams come true. They will come, and when they do, they will feel effortless, natural, and right. You're not meant to chase your dreams. You're meant to allow them to unfold before you at the perfect time when you're ready to receive them. You are worthy of every success, every blessing, every moment of peace and joy. You don't need to force your life to become what you think it should be. It already is. Let go, trust, allow, and watch as everything falls into place exactly as it was always meant to. You've been told that the key to success is hard work, determination, and relentless pursuit. And while there's truth in effort, the real power lies in knowing when to let go. The truth is, your most profound growth comes not from forcing yourself into situations, but from knowing when to release the need to control. It's not about the grind or the hustle. It's about having the wisdom to stop when you're pushing too hard and recognizing that sometimes surrendering to the flow of life can bring you more than all your striving ever could. Think about it. When you let go of the constant pressure to make things happen, you free yourself to create space for what's meant for you. The more you allow life to unfold naturally, the more you align with the opportunities, the relationships, and the success that are already coming toward you. But you can't see them when your eyes are fixed on what you're trying to force into existence. By surrendering to the present moment, you begin to let go of all that unnecessary struggle. You stop chasing things that aren't meant for you, and you allow yourself to embrace what is. You stop trying to outrun your own destiny, and instead you walk alongside it with grace, knowing that it's leading you to exactly where you need to be. The control you've been exerting is exhausting, isn't it? You tried to steer your life in every direction, made endless plans, set countless goals, and still felt like you were spinning in place. The harder you pushed, the further it seemed to slip away. What if, instead of forcing it, you could allow yourself to breathe, trust, and simply be? What if your dreams didn't require constant battle, but instead they only needed your faith, your patience, and your openness to life's infinite possibilities? There's a power in releasing that can't be understood through effort alone. When you let go of the need to control your outcomes, you create the space for your highest potential to manifest. It's not about being passive. It's about being in alignment with what the universe has to offer you. Trust is the greatest act of strength. It's an act of courage to step back and say, I trust that everything will work out as it should. That trust releases the tension, the anxiety, the feeling of always needing to be on alert. And when you stop fighting for control, life starts to meet you halfway. You don't need to plan every second of your life. You don't need to force the future to show up now. The future will come in its time, and when it does, you will be ready, not because you've forced it into being, but because you've grown and evolved in the process of allowing. The most significant changes you will experience are the ones that happen when you stop chasing and start receiving. Your life will unfold in ways that surprise and delight you, but only if you stop holding on so tightly. The real power comes when you accept that you don't need to struggle for every inch of your life. It's not about always forcing things to move faster, pushing harder, or trying to outwork the world. It's about allowing yourself to be present, trusting that the right opportunities will come at the right time, and understanding that you don't have to control everything to create success. You were never meant to live in a constant state of tension, of forcing, of striving without end. You're meant to live in alignment, to feel the flow of life as it carries you towards your true path. Releasing the need to force is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It takes courage to trust, courage to let go, and courage to allow the universe to deliver what's meant for you. So ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped trying so hard to control everything? What would happen if you allow yourself to trust in life, trust in yourself, and trust that everything will unfold as it's meant to? The moment you let go is the moment your true power awakens. It's the moment you give yourself permission to receive everything you've been waiting for, effortlessly. There is a subtle yet profound truth you must accept. The harder you push, the more you resist. Resistance is a force that holds you back, keeps you stuck in cycles of endless striving. Every time you exert pressure to control your circumstances, you add more weight to your shoulders. The burden you feel isn't because you're not doing enough. It's because you're not allowing. You're not allowing things to come to you in their own time, their own way. The struggle, the fight, the stress, it's all a result of the belief that you must force life to happen on your terms. But in reality, the more you force, the more you push the things you want further away. What if instead of fighting against the natural flow of your life, you trusted it? What if you stopped seeing every obstacle as something to overcome and started seeing it as an opportunity for growth, an invitation to surrender, to stop fighting? Every time you release your grip on the need for control, you let go of unnecessary pressure, and with that release comes freedom. Freedom to embrace what is, freedom to trust what's next. The more you surrender, the more you allow yourself to grow in ways you never thought possible. You're not meant to live under constant pressure, fighting to make things work. You're meant to flow with life, to allow it to guide you. And the more you let go, the easier it becomes to trust that life is on your side, that the universe is working in your favor. The beauty of letting go is that it shifts your perspective. It opens your eyes to the opportunities that were always there, but which you couldn't see when you were too busy pushing. When you stop fighting for things that aren't meant for you, you make space for the things that truly are. The right relationships, the right career, the right opportunities, they come when you let go of the pressure to force them into being. Life will always surprise you in the most unexpected ways, but it can only surprise you if you stop trying to control everything. You may feel like you're falling behind because you're not constantly pushing, constantly striving, but in truth, your greatest progress will come in those moments when you stop, take a step back, and trust that everything is unfolding in its own time. The pressure to achieve more, to prove more, to be more, it all fades when you embrace the simple truth that you don't have to hustle endlessly to create the life you want. You don't have to force it. Your life is a natural progression. And when you stop fighting it, when you stop forcing it, you'll find that things begin to fall into place with effortless ease. Imagine the peace you could feel if you let go of the anxiety that comes with constant striving. Imagine what it would feel like to release all the tension you've been carrying, to trust that you don't have to be constantly working, constantly planning, constantly pushing to be worthy of success. You already are. You are worthy of everything that's meant for you simply by being you. And when you allow that truth to settle in, when you truly believe it, everything begins to shift. You don't need to force your happiness into existence. You don't need to force your dreams to come true. You don't need to manipulate circumstances to fit your vision of what should be. All you need to do is trust that life knows what's best for you. Trust that you are being guided to exactly where you need to be. Trust that when you let go of the need to control, you make room for something even greater to enter your life. The best things in life are not forced, they are allowed. So let go of the fear that tells you that you must keep pushing. Let go of the belief that you have to fight for every inch of success. Trust in your journey. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be right now, and that the life you're meant to live is already on its way to you. Stop fighting, stop forcing, and simply allow. Allow life to flow. Allow yourself to receive, and watch as everything you've ever wanted begins to come to you effortlessly. You have everything you need right now, not in the future, not when you've worked harder or accomplished more. Right now, The reason you feel like something is missing is because you've been too focused on what you think you need to force into your life. You've been looking for the next goal, the next milestone, the next achievement to fill the emptiness. But the truth is, you don't need to do more to be more. You don't need to push harder to earn your place. Your worth is not defined by your achievements. It's inherent simply because you are. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to let go of all the pressure. The pressure to always be working, to always be pushing, to always be striving for something. What if you stopped measuring your success by how much you've accomplished and started measuring it by how much peace you feel, how much trust you've cultivated in yourself in the process of life? The more you chase after external markers of success, the further away from peace you move. But peace isn't something you find in the future. It's not something you earn through relentless effort. Peace is something you create within yourself in the present moment, and it's waiting for you to stop fighting for it. Your dreams are not a reward for all the work you've done. They are a reflection of the life you are already living. When you allow yourself to rest in the present, when you stop forcing your future to materialize right now, you'll realize that the life you're creating is the life you've been striving for. But only when you stop forcing it to happen, when you stop overworking, overthinking, and overanalyzing every step you take. Your dreams will come to you, not because you pushed them into existence, but because you allowed them to unfold. You gave them space to grow. You trusted that they would. The truth is, everything you desire is already on its way to you. You don't have to chase after it. You don't have to earn it through relentless effort. The more you force it, the more you push it away. Your desires are in alignment with your path, and when you stop forcing, you align yourself with them. You become a magnet for the opportunities, the people, and the moments that will bring those desires into your reality. It's in those quiet moments of surrender, when you stop trying to make life bend to your will, that you find true connection. Connection to yourself, to your purpose, and to the world around you. When you stop forcing, you begin to trust that everything is happening in perfect timing. You stop looking for the right moment, and you start living in the right moment. You stop waiting for permission, and you start realizing that you have everything you need within you. The most powerful transformations happen when you stop struggling, when you stop fighting, and when you start allowing life to be as it is. Right now, you are exactly where you need to be. Your journey is unfolding perfectly, even if you can't always see it. Trust that you don't need to rush, that you don't need to force your life into a box that doesn't fit. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are right where you need to be, and the moment you release the need to control it, everything will fall into place. The only thing standing in your way is the belief that you need to do more, be more, push harder. But you don't. You are already enough. The moment you realize that, you open yourself to the effortless flow of life. You allow your dreams to come to you without force and without struggle. So let go. Let go of the weight of expectation. Let go of the fear that you're not doing enough. Let go of the belief that you have to work harder to be worthy of what you desire. You are worthy right now. Your dreams are waiting for you, and they are already on their way. You just have to stop forcing and start allowing. Let life unfold in its own time, and you'll see that everything you've been chasing has been chasing you all along. When you finally let go, when you stop forcing, something remarkable happens. The world opens up in ways you couldn't have imagined. Opportunities begin to appear, not because you chased them down, but because you made space for them. You stop clinging to an outcome, and that's when the real magic begins. Life doesn't owe you anything for all the effort you put in. But when you let go of the need to control, you begin to receive everything you've ever wanted, and more in ways you never expected. The truth is, forcing things into your life only holds you back. You've convinced yourself that you need to work harder, push more to make your dreams come true. But the harder you push, the more resistance you create. You've been taught to believe that success is achieved through constant striving, but this mindset leaves you exhausted, disconnected, and frustrated. What if success, happiness, and fulfillment didn't require all this effort? What if they were waiting for you to stop trying so hard, to stop forcing and instead trust that everything you want is already within reach? When you stop forcing, you stop fighting against the natural flow of life. You stop trying to manipulate outcomes to make things happen according to your plan. Instead, you surrender to the unfolding of your path, knowing that everything is happening as it should. And when you do this, you begin to notice things you've been missing. Small moments of peace, subtle signs of alignment, quiet opportunities that have always been there, but you couldn't see because you were too focused on the chase. When you release the need for control, you allow yourself to be present, and that presence is where the true magic lies. That is where the transformation begins. Everything you've been seeking has always been there, just waiting for you to stop fighting for it. When you let go, you stop resisting the things that are meant for you, and you open yourself to receive. You open yourself to the possibility that your life, your dreams, your happiness don't have to come from force. They can come from alignment, from peace, from allowing. You don't need to push for your dreams. You need to trust that they are already coming to you, that they are already on their way. Your energy shifts when you stop trying to control everything. You stop draining yourself with endless effort, and instead you give yourself the space to breathe, to grow, and to receive what's meant for you. You stop chasing after success and start attracting it. You stop running from one goal to the next and begin to live in the present, fully alive, fully engaged with the world around you. And in this space, everything you've ever wanted begins to unfold naturally, effortlessly. This is not a passive way of living. It's active, but it's active in a way that honors your inner rhythm. It's a life where you allow things to flow instead of forcing them to fit into your own idea of how they should be. It's a life where you don't have to exhaust yourself to prove your worth because you already know you are worthy. Your success is not measured by how hard you work, but by how much trust you have in the process. Trust that the universe has a way of bringing the right people, the right opportunities, and the right moments into your life at the exact right time. And when you stop forcing, you align yourself with that flow. This is where the real power lies, in letting go and trusting the timing of your life and knowing that everything will come to you, not because you fought for it, but because you allowed it. You don't need to fight for the life you want. You just need to trust that it is already yours. The moment you do, everything will start to fall into place. The life you've been working so hard to create will be waiting for you, effortless and beautiful, exactly as it was always meant to be. What if the life you've been desperately trying to build has already been waiting for you, just beyond your constant efforts? What if the struggle, the endless pursuit, the sense of never being enough is all a distraction keeping you from the peace and fulfillment that are rightfully yours? The more you fight, the more you lose touch with what matters most. Your inner peace, your joy, and your ability to live with ease. The life you're meant to live isn't a battle to be fought. It's a journey to be experienced. And that journey unfolds when you finally let go of the need to control every detail. You have been conditioned to believe that your worth is tied to your accomplishments, that every step forward requires more effort, more struggle. But what if the real power comes not from pushing yourself to the limit, but from recognizing that you are already whole? You don't need to fight for your place in this world. You don't need to claw your way to success. Your path is already unfolding before you. And when you release the urge to force it, you align yourself with the flow of life. The more you resist, the harder it becomes. The more you fight, the further you get from your true self. But the moment you stop, you realize the struggle was never necessary. The world you want to create is already here. It doesn't exist in the future. In the when I have this or the when I do that, it exists in the present moment. The life you've been dreaming of is unfolding right now, even in the quiet spaces, the moments of stillness. By forcing your way through life, you miss the beauty of the present. You miss the signs, the whispers of the universe guiding you toward what you've been searching for all along. When you stop forcing, you become attuned to the subtle magic that's always been available to you. You begin to notice the opportunities you couldn't see when you were too busy pushing forward. You start to understand that everything you need is already within reach, just waiting for you to stop running past it. This is the beauty of surrender. Not weakness, not giving up, but an empowered decision to trust the process. Trust that the universe has a plan for you, a plan that's far bigger than any effort you could ever make. When you trust, you give yourself permission to relax, to breathe, to receive. You stop carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, and instead you allow life to support you. You stop trying to bend reality to your will and start flowing with it. And in that flow, you discover that everything you've been seeking comes to you effortlessly. Your dreams are not a result of your effort. They are a result of your willingness to allow them to come to you. The most profound achievements, the deepest connections, the most rewarding experiences will come when you stop fighting for them. They will come when you learn to trust that what is meant for you will never pass you by. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to control it. You simply have to allow it to unfold in its own time, in its own way. You've been taught to hustle, to always be on the go, to constantly push towards something better. But what if that hustle is actually keeping you from what you truly desire? What if you are already enough? What if the life you want is already here, and all you need to do is trust that you don't have to force it into being? When you let go, you make space for the things that matter most to enter your life. You stop chasing, and you begin to receive. There is an undeniable power in surrender, in trusting that life will deliver what's meant for you at the perfect time. It's in letting go of the pressure, the expectations, and the need to control everything that you find true freedom. Your dreams are not out of reach. They are already on their way to you. All you have to do is stop forcing, stop pushing, and allow yourself to experience the ease and grace of life unfolding naturally. You've been holding on so tightly to the idea that you must control everything, but the moment you let go, everything you've ever wanted will begin to come to you effortlessly. This is the true power of surrender. You spent so much of your life trying to prove something. You've been pushing yourself, striving for a future that you believe will bring you happiness, fulfillment, and peace. But what if you already possess all of that? What if you don't need to climb another mountain, chase another goal, or work yourself to the brink of exhaustion to finally feel whole? The truth is, the moment you stop forcing your life into some idealized version of success, you'll realize that everything you've been searching for has always been within you. It's never been about getting more, doing more, or having more. It's always been about remembering that you are already enough. The energy you've been investing in the pursuit of goals that seem to shift further away the harder you chase them, can now be redirected inward. When you stop fighting against the current of life, you allow yourself to be carried toward your true desires. The more you resist, the more you exhaust yourself, and the further you push your dreams away. But the moment you release that resistance, you open yourself to the flow of abundance that's always been there. Everything you need to step into the next phase of your life, to reach your greatest potential, is already inside of you, waiting to be unlocked. This isn't about sitting back and doing nothing. It's about taking inspired action, the kind that comes from a place of alignment, not force. When you stop pushing, you start living in harmony with yourself and with the world around you. You don't have to push for success. You don't have to chase after happiness. You don't have to hustle until you burn out. Instead, you act from a place of peace, from a deep knowing that what's meant for you will come when you allow it to. You stop rushing, and instead you trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. As you step into this new way of being, something beautiful happens. The anxiety begins to lift. The constant pressure to perform, to achieve, to always do more, it fades away. You become more present, more aware of the small victories, the quiet moments of joy, the subtle blessings that are all around you. You begin to appreciate the process rather than focusing only on the outcome. And this is where the real transformation happens. The moment you release the need to control every aspect of your life, you create space for life to surprise you. It's when you stop forcing that the best things come to you, often when you least expect them. This is the power of alignment. You no longer need to hustle in the way society tells you to. You don't need to measure your worth by how hard you work or how many things you can accomplish in a day. Your worth is inherent simply because you are. When you stop forcing things, you allow the universe to meet you halfway, to bring you the right opportunities, the right people, and the right moments exactly when you need them. You're not running after success anymore. Success is running toward you effortlessly. Trusting this process requires vulnerability, but it's the kind of vulnerability that leads to strength. When you surrender, you let go of fear, doubt, and the belief that you're not enough. You release the need to constantly prove yourself to the world, and instead you prove something to yourself, that you are worthy right now, just as you are. You are enough. You don't need to earn your dreams. You don't need to force them to happen. They're already on their way. And when you stop fighting for them, you'll see that they were always meant to be yours. You've been running long enough. It's time to stop. It's time to stop running from who you truly are, from what you truly want, from the life that's already waiting for you. Let go of the need to force. Let go of the need to control. And trust that when you do, everything you've been longing for will finally find its way to you. You don't have to chase it anymore. You don't have to make it happen. Just allow, trust, and be. That's when the real magic begins. Imagine living a life where everything flows effortlessly, where the weight of the world no longer rests on your shoulders, and you don't feel the constant pressure to be more, to do more, to prove more. What if the pursuit of happiness wasn't a race, but a natural unfolding? The moment you stop forcing, you step into a state of ease. You stop demanding that life fit into a narrow box of expectations, and instead, you let it expand, evolve, and unfold in its own time, on its own terms. This is the power of surrender. And it's here, in this space of trust, that you will find your greatest strength. You don't have to make things happen. You don't have to exhaust yourself in an effort to control every outcome. All you need to do is align yourself with the flow of your own life. When you let go of the idea that you need to force your way through every challenge, you free yourself from the prison of your own mind. The idea that success must be